Week 6 is about the point where we have the have and the haves not at the running back position. Like the haves at the very top, CMC, we don't even need to talk about him. He's the running back one every single week. I wish I would have taken him over Jefferson. I wish I would have taken him over Chase. I wish I would have taken him over Tyreek Hill. I wish he would have been my 101 in drafts this year. This player is at another level. He's going out there and locking you in pretty much 100 total yards each and every week, a touchdown each and every week. I mean, the man has had 700 total yards essentially through the first 5 games, and he has had 8 touchdowns through the first 5. There's nothing to discuss. You play him at 1. The next tier, we're going to go Eckler and Bijan Robinson. Eckler, we've only got to see for 1 week, but he had the bye week to fully rest up. Austin Eckler should be completely fine coming out of the bye. And we looked at the historical data to see that you actually have Austin Eckler as a better option when you have either Mike Williams or Keenan Allen missing a game, given the fact that they're going to rely on Eckler a little bit more as a receiver. What is interesting is they are 2-point dogs against the Dallas Cowboys. Really tough matchup there. So we will have Bijan Robinson in the same tier. And I know we've had a lot of people go into the comment section going, Mason, Atlanta's bad. Should we worry about Bijan? What were y'all expecting, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, Atlanta's bad. And with Bijan Robinson, this is a rookie running back that has had over 500 total yards in his first 5 games played. He's had 21 receptions. What else do you want to see? Over 100 total yards per game, averaging 4 receptions per game. He's a locked and loaded bell cow and an offense that wants to run the ball over and over again. And he's a superb talent. Do not panic on Bijan Robinson. And now our next tier, we're going to go Travis Etienne. Y'all know Etienne's been my guy all season. I mean, hell, I think a lot of us have Travis Etienne, so a lot of us are probably really excited to see the matchup. Last week against the Bills, he completely demolished. Here will be an easier spot going up against Indy. We're actually 4-point favorites, and you won't have Anthony Richardson in this game. We're going to go Tony Pollard at 5 with Pollard. I really don't know what to expect with Dallas. We have yet to see Dallas play a real football game this year. The closest game to a real game we've got was when they lost against the Cardinals by 12 points. Here you have them only as 2-point favorites over the Chargers. So very interested to see what Pollard and what Lamb look like if it's actually a close game on Monday night. And of course, in that Monday night game, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are taking advantage. We have the Justin Herbert special pick'em on Underdog Fantasy. More than less than half a total yard going up against the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be available for anybody who signs up to Underdog with code FLOCK today, yesterday, tomorrow, 2 years ago. And also on Thursday, everybody who signs up with code FLOCK that is new to Underdog Fantasy will also be getting a Patrick Mahomes special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard. Underdog never has that set up 2 special pick'ems the same week, so please make sure you're taking advantage. Code FLOCK's also going to get you a 100% deposit match and our updated rest of season fantasy football rankings. Find that link in the description in the comment section. And it is my birthday today. That is the best birthday present that you could get me. Now, going over to 6, we have Josh Jacobs. Very brief on Jacobs. I'm recording this right before the Monday night game. I haven't seen him play, but going into the game, he's leading the NFL in receiving yards at the running back position. I will update y'all later in the week with this Jacobs ranking. 7, we're going to go Kenneth Walker coming out of the bye. With Walker, not a great pass catcher, right? He's had 8 receptions through the first 4 weeks. Going up against Cincinnati, this should be a close game where you are a 2.5-point dog. But I mean, with Kenneth Walker, he's had 5 rushing touchdowns so far through 4 weeks. Clearly, it's a running back that does have the red zone role. Then we're going to go David Montgomery at 8. Now, David Montgomery may actually rise up these rankings if Jahmyr Gibbs misses this game, but I'm expecting that Gibbs will play. And what I'm surprised to see is I was expecting the Lions to be favored by honestly 5.5 points in this game. The Lions are only favored by 3 going up against Tampa. So maybe it's not an absolute guarantee that the Lions are going to go out there and easily win this game. Now, Breece Hall will be our next running back at 9. Now, y'all know with Breece Hall, after he had the Rodgers injury, we said to sell him high for Travis Etienne. We had him as a buy low running back last week before the report came out saying that he was going to be off the snap count. So honestly, I feel like we've had a great sense of Breece Hall so far this season. Last week, it was a smash going up against the worst rushing defense in the entire NFL. This week, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, we are going to have a much better sense of what the New York Jets overall offense looks like. Clearly, Breece is one of the most talented running backs in the entire NFL. I still believe this is one of the worst offenses in the NFL, however, and I do think we have a fallback down to earth for the Jets. Now, Kyron Williams will be our next back at 10. With Kyron Williams going up against Arizona, you are 6-point favorites. Still seeing every single snap, still seeing every single touch. I understand last week it wasn't great. It was more so due to the overall game environment in the matchup against Philadelphia. It's not like Kupp being back negatively impacts Kyron. Then DeAndre Swift will be our next running back at 11. You're getting a little more Gainwell usage, which is a little frustrating, especially if you consider the fact that DeAndre Swift has been so efficient in comparison to Kenneth Gainwell. DeAndre Swift has averaged 5.7 yards per carry, whereas Gainwell is down there closer to 3. Now, of course, yards per carry is not the best statistic in evaluating running back performance, but it is a starting point, especially when you see that very dramatic difference between the two players. Then Derrick Henry will be our next running back at 12. With Derrick Henry, you either have them in a game environment where the Tennessee Titans are winning and you are excited and he has a top 5 running back workload, or you have him in a game environment where the Tennessee Titans are losing and you get more Tajay Spears out there on the field than you'd like to see. They are 3-point dogs going up against the Ravens this week. So I think it's closer to going to be a bad game for Henry. Obviously, he has an incredible ceiling. It really does depend on what you have with this Tennessee Titans offense. Joe Mixon will be our next guy at 13. Mixon has the workload. The thing is Burrow fully healthy? If we knew Burrow was fully healthy, we knew this was going to be one of the top offenses in the NFL. I think you could move Joe Mixon a little bit above here, but it is very difficult to rank until we see that continued trend of Burrow improving. Now, our next two guys we are going to have back-to-back. We're going to have Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert, 14 and 15. Both of them as low-end RB1s, high-end RB2s. The reason it's going to be very difficult to rank these players is, one, we do not know the availability of Devon Achane. He suffered a knee injury in last game. He was able to go back in, but reports right before this video came out, Mike McDaniel saying that they're looking into it, that it may end up being serious. We really haven't had any clarity, and it looks like this may be something that's a growth situation going forward. And with Mostert, I would say if Achane does not play, then all of a sudden Mostert's a running back that is probably up there at like RB7 alongside Kenneth Walker. The issue is we don't know if Jeff Wilson Jr. will be good to go. But all I do know is I expect the top 2 running backs in Miami, regardless of who those guys may be, to be hyper-productive players in a game going up against Carolina where they are 13.5-point favorites. 13.5-point favorites. Isaiah Pacheco will be our next RB. Pacheco playing on Thursday night. Keep in mind, you have the Mahomes more than less than half a total yard on Thursday on Underdog. But you have them as 10.5-point favorites. Pacheco seeing more and more of this backfield. Over the past 3 weeks, you've had 15 carries, 20 carries, 16 carries. He's had 3 touchdowns through the past 3. The issue is in a full PPR format, he doesn't have a massive role as a receiver. Obviously, we would like that to change if possible. But still, nonetheless, you are excited about the guaranteed touches. Then Alvin Kamara will be our next running back at 17. You know what? We're going to move Kamara ahead of Pacheco here because Kamara is kind of doing a little bit of everything. He's going out there. He's getting targeted out of the backfield. Not only is he getting targeted out of the backfield quite often, but at the same time, it's a running back that last week in a blowout against the Pats, you did see them use him a ton between the tackles. Not a super efficient running back at this point of his career. Now, of course, I drafted a ton of Alvin Kamara in those underdog drafts and people were worried about the suspension. But here, I think that we can be very realistic. He's a running back with a nice workload. He's a running back that is in not so great of an offense. And he's a running back that's probably not going to be super efficient. And our next guy, we will have Saquon Barkley. And I keep saying it over and over again with Saquon. Okay, well, he practiced every day last week. So I assume that means we get to see him this week. And then back-to-back weeks, we've had no Saquon Barkley now. Now, I'm expecting Barkley plays. Keep in mind, I also expected that this past week. So I'm an idiot. And even if he does play, I don't want to say Saquon Barkley is a must-start running back. You have to play him over Derrick Henry because he's Saquon. No. This may be the worst offense in the NFL where you're going up against the Buffalo Bills and you are a 14-point dog with potentially no Daniel Jones. So Barkley's coming back from an ankle sprain. You have one of the worst matchups you could imagine. You're in one of the worst offenses you can imagine. And you are the biggest underdog of any game this week. It will be difficult to rank Saquon as an RB1. Then Rachaad White will be our next guy with Rachaad White. And we'll go James Cook here as well. You have the guaranteed workloads, right? I mean, not necessarily running backs that we're saying, oh, they're top end talents. These are guys that are going to go out there and absolutely dominate with efficiency. But no, you have volume with James Cook. It is frustrating seeing the backfield turn into a little bit more of a 3-man running back by committee. But if you're a 14-point favorite, you're probably going to be looking to run the ball in the second half. Now, our next guy, I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor. Now, Jonathan Taylor, we had as a mid RB2 last week. I thought that he would be an intriguing play despite them saying that he was going to be on a snap count. And I thought him being on a snap count meant he would see 60% of the backfield while Zach Moss would see 40%. Looks like that was very unrealistic to assume that that would be the case in his first week back. Now, with that being said, Zach Moss absolutely crushes. Zach Moss is in here at 23. But am I expecting that Zach Moss is still going to be the guy going forward? Personally, I am not. I think that this week, it's probably going to be a split backfield, which is why we do have both these guys inside our top 24. But there are 42 million reasons why Jonathan Taylor will be a running back that I think we need to rank over Zach Moss and assume that Jonathan Taylor continues to expand his role. So yes, I'm going to go Taylor over Moss this week. I think they're both borderline playable. I think neither guy is a must-start option until we do eventually see, okay, Jonathan Taylor has fully emerged, and I'm hoping JT's a top 5 running back this week. That way next week we can rank him there. And also, going up against Jacksonville, you have Gardner Minshew and a quarterback. You are a 4-point dog. Now, Dameon Pierce will be our next back at 22. Dameon Pierce may actually be an intriguing buy low candidate. What's going to be very interesting is you have the offensive line healthy again in Houston, where you want to go out there and you want to say, oh, okay, well, all of a sudden, I mean, maybe the efficiency spikes up for Dameon Pierce in this offense. But that may not necessarily be the case. We saw it this past week where Dameon Pierce is still looking like one of the least efficient running backs in the NFL. Now, you're going up against New Orleans. It is a tough matchup. You are a 1.5-point dog in this game. Nonetheless, when the volume's there and CJ Stroud looks good, we will rank him as a top 24 guy. Then Brian Robinson will be our next RB at 24. Brian Robinson has the workload, but if the game gets out of hand, then they'll throw in Antonio Gibson, right? I mean, Washington has looked very bad. They just got boat raced by the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields. They are 2.5-point dogs going up against the Atlanta Falcons. And the issue is if you're going up against Atlanta, we know Atlanta typically is going to slow the game down. They're going to look to run the ball over and over and over again. And Washington may not have that many plays overall. And Roschon will be our next back. Roschon is going up against Minnesota, currently dealing with a concussion. Don't know if he will play. But if Roschon Johnson is going to play with no Khalil Herbert in a full BBR format where we expect that he is going to be the guy with the receiving volume, and it's a game against Minnesota where you assume it's going to be a little bit of a higher scoring contest for the Chicago Bears overall, I think he will be startable. And then Jerome Ford, y'all know we had as a sell high candidate, the breakout that he had when he had multiple touchdowns against Tennessee. And yeah, with Jerome Ford, we are going to keep on ranking him down lower than consensus. My issue is I don't think this is a great offense. I don't think Jerome Ford's a great running back. And I think he splits the backfield with Kareem Hunt. I think when you're looking at these running backs that are stepping into roles, you need one of 3 things to happen, or you need, let's just call it one of 3. You need to be a great talent if you're stepping into a starting role and you want to produce. You don't need that if you have this second thing. If you have all the opportunity, if you're getting every single touch out of the backfield, you don't need to be a great talent to go out there and put up fantasy points. And you don't need that if you're playing in an elite level offense, right? But you need one of the 3. You can either be a good running back, a bad running back getting all the work, or a bad running back getting some of the work in an elite offense. I don't think Jerome Ford checks any of those boxes. It's a very tough matchup going up against San Fran, so we will have him here at 26. Then Stevenson's at 27. In reality, Stevenson's probably a little bit better than this. This is a statement ranking, though. Ramondre Stevenson is arguably in the worst offense in the NFL. Ramondre Stevenson is not getting involved as a receiver. And if we go through those same boxes, Ezekiel Elliott has a role, so it's not like Ramondre Stevenson's getting everything. Ramondre Stevenson doesn't look like a good talent. He's been one of the least efficient running backs in the NFL, and he's in a very, very bad offense. So kind of stuck in that similar role to Jerome Ford. Alexander Madison, another running back that was a sellout guy for us a week or two ago. And it's a running back that what I was worried about is Cam Akers coming in and Cam Akers taking 40% of the backfield. And I hate to go through these boxes, but Alexander Madison is not good enough to overcome a committee. He's not in a good enough offense where he can be an effective committee running back scoring points in fantasy. Javonte Williams at 29. I'm assuming Javonte plays this week, considering the fact that it was a game time decision last week. They go on Thursday. In reality, you're going up against KC. You're at a 10.5 point dog. You're Javonte Williams. It's going to be a split backfield, and I honestly don't really want much to do with you. Now, going over to our next guy, we are going to have the starting running back in Arizona. Now, the issue is we don't know if it's going to be Ingram. We don't know if it's going to be DeMarcado. So I'm kind of just going to be staying away from this. We don't even know if James Conner is going to be playing. You're going up against the Rams where you are 6-point favorites. 6-point dogs. I think we'll get some clarity on this Arizona Cardinals backfield as we get closer to the week. As of now, I'm probably avoiding this situation. Jahmyr Gibbs will be our next guy at 31. With Gibbs, you want him in a game where the Detroit Lions will be trailing. You want him in a game where he's not coming off an injury. You probably don't want him here. And then Tyler Algier, we had him as a sellout guy after week 1. With Algier, this is a running back that you want to roster because he's an elite premium handcuff back if you were to have Bijan Robinson go down. Tyler Algier is a good enough talent profile that if Bijan were to go down, Algier is a top 10 to 12 running back in fantasy. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, do we want to say, oh, okay, well, he can overcome Bijan being the... No. I don't think it's good enough offense for him to be in a committee and for him to be exciting to play in fantasy. Then Miles Sanders, let's go through these boxes. Committee back, bad offense, not very efficient. Not that exciting. He's a 13.5 point dog against Miami. Gus Edwards, committee back, not efficient, and not an elite offense. And not even having the receiving down role either. So really these guys in the last tier or two are options you can play if you need to. Probably not excited about it though. But I think that's all I have for you. Again, if you have not done so already, go down there, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. And if you want to check out that pick'em for Thursday night, Patrick Mahomes, more than less than half a total yard, and get the Justin Herbert special pick'em on Monday night, more than less than half a total yard going up against Dallas. You can find that link to Underdog in the comment section and the description. Promo code FLOCK, 100% a positive match. Both those special pick'ems are rest of season fantasy football rankings. And it would be the #1 birthday present you could give me for today. Today is my birthday. Don't sign up for Underdog. Deposit $10, promo code FLOCK. But thank you again. I really do appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Really hope you have a great day. And really hope I get to see you on the live stream later tonight.